Hi, this is Mike from Chipper. As you progress through your college courses, you'll have to learn a ton of new information. So how do you remember it all? This video gives you 4 ways to help you get better at memorization. First, write your notes out in longhand and say them out loud. Reading your notes makes you feel familiar with the material, but it doesn't help you understand the material so well that you can actively recall it. Writing out your notes and then reading them out loud helps greatly. Second, teach or explain the material to others. Did you know that one of the best ways to understand a concept is to explain it to someone else? This is called the protege effect. In a 2009 Stanford University study, researchers found that when students were responsible for teaching a virtual character, the students learned the material more thoroughly. They improved their own understanding and recall. Try this technique on your friends or classmates and see if it helps you understand the material more deeply. Third, make mnemonics for long lists. Name mnemonics is a memory technique that helps you remember lists of items by using mnemonic phrases or acronyms as the first letter of each item on the list. Some well-known mnemonics are PEMDAS for Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, which is used to memorize the order of operations in math, and RICE for Rest, Ice, Compression, Elevation, the first aid treatment for bruises and sprains. You can come up with your own name mnemonics or search for common ones. College students studying topics like human anatomy or chemistry can find existing lists of helpful mnemonics online. Last, you can build a memory palace. A memory palace is an imaginary location that includes scenes and symbols for the things you're trying to remember. The wackier the scenes, the better. For example, if you're trying to remember that Napoleon lost the Battle of Waterloo in June of 1815, you can envision Napoleon next to a water fountain, standing on a giant June bug, lecturing his 18 and 15-year-old niece and nephew. Build your own memory palace using a familiar place as the setting, like your childhood home. First, pick a route, like the path from the front door to your bedroom. Now, mentally walk through the route and place scenes in each room based on the content you're trying to memorize. You'll be able to recall that content just by retracing your route. This technique works well because it's easier to remember imagery as you imagine walking through a familiar path. How are you going to use these memorization techniques? Tell us in a comment below. Subscribe to our channel for more study tips and download our free study app, Chipper, for iOS or Android at getchipper.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.